Hi, ladies. This is Sandy, and I copied this photo quite a while ago, and she's just haunted me exactly what I wanted to do with her. And I named this Marjorie's Diary. Marjorie was my grandmother's name, and as I thought about that, I thought about how when I was a little girl, I would go to my grandma's house and she had this stairway, and underneath it were vintage toys, things that had been in the family for decades. And there was always an old photo album in there with brown pages, and you glued the pictures in with little corners, and just all these old family pictures. And some of them she knew who they were, and some of them she didn't. And I started thinking about that as I created this little sugar britches. And she's 4.5 by 5.5, my normal size. Hope that glare isn't too bad. It's really gloomy today, and I'm trying to get enough light on what I'm doing. But this lady and her wonderful personality and look is the star of this album. And as I started, I have used this little boy before. Some of you may remember, but on here I named him Harold. And the tag that I will put the name and the year and all that on is an old teddy bear that belonged to Harold, or maybe Marjorie when she was young. And this also is an image of a gate that looks like something that would have been in my grandmother's yard. Lots of hollyhocks, moss-covered wooden gates, and then I covered it with the lace. And as I started to do this, I took the photographs, printed the images, and I dipped them in coffee to get that look that I was looking for. And as would be in one of her albums, this picture of the dirt drive, an old gate, and the tree hanging over it made me think that maybe Marjorie would have put these in some kind of order, and a picture of her home or her grandmother's home. And then I just followed on through with quotes that she might have put in. We usually wrote little roses are red, violets are blue, sugar is sweet, and so are you. Just little things by the pictures. But I came up with some quotes that I thought gave it warmth. And this one says, "A house is made with walls and beams, a home is built with love and dreams." And that's by Ralph Waldo Emerson. Well, and at my grandmother's, just like here, we had a wood shed, and these ducks. This all went together as I searched for images to put together a feel that has really, I don't know, I have a connection with this book, and I'm hoping one of you will. But here's a picture of old baby shoes. It might have been hers, might have been a sibling's, and plenty of quotes. This could have been her when she was a schoolgirl. And I love that look on her face again of this little girl and her confidence. And the quote across from it is, "Hope is the thing with feathers that perches in the soul and sings the tune without the words and never stops at all." That's Emily Dickerson. And I put these hearts on an angle over this other applique, just and this is what I usually do. I leave you room to put your own notes, photographs, and this quote, "Wherever you are is my home, my only home," and that's by Jane Eyre. I may add some more trim here, I don't know. This image that I found was just priceless to me. Could have been her as a teenager with her first little boyfriend. He's giving her flowers, and I coffee dyed all the pages and the laces to give it continuity. Uh, and then this dried hydrangea, and this looks like an image that would have been on her nightstand, along with an old brush and mirror and all the things that I remember seeing in my grandmother's bedroom. This old lock. I grew up in a farming family in Indiana, and these kind of images just pull at my heart, and it's because of what I was around all my childhood. Never give up, for that is just the place and time that the tide will turn, by Harriet Beecher Stowe. And I've tried to show here, I think I might have mentioned this before, but my great-grandparents lived, when I first was small, down the street from us in this tiny little town. It wasn't even a town in Indiana. It was just a little bump in the road with a few houses. But my grandmother had grown up in New York, and she had wonderful, wonderful pieces of German and French Limoges china, and always a container, a glass container or a china container with spoons in it in the middle of the table, so you always were ready for a cup of tea or whatever. And the quote I chose was, "Always believe that something wonderful is about to happen." And honestly, my husband has taught me that. Just enjoy every single day and make the most of everything, because we aren't guaranteed too many minutes. None, actually. A sweet friendship refreshes the soul, and here might be a picture of her friends at a tea party that they went to in college, or after church on Sunday. I don't know. You can just let your imagination run free. I thought it was interesting, this image, when I dipped it in coffee, it gave the roses a whole different hand-tinted look, like we would find on an old template or an old color photo. I'm sorry. The trials you encounter will introduce you to your strength. Boy, that's true, isn't it? And this, I thought, was appropriate. Could be her and her sister. A sister is a gift to the heart. Most of them are. Sometimes they're not, but look at their little stockings and the lace that they have tied around them to keep them up. I just think that picture is so precious. The true secret of happiness lies in taking a genuine interest in all the details of daily life, by William Morris. And this little child's hands with, looks to be grains of rice in the shape of a heart. When we have each other, we have everything. And these trims remind me of the old, the kitchen curtains. Or there was always these real feminine, lacy additions to even a farmhouse. The Art of Being Wise is Knowing What to Overlook by William James. And that's a good one to remember. And having a jar of flowers in the windowsill. These dots are, again, the pan that I lay anything in when I'm baking them after I coffee dye them. But it gives the effect of polka dots that I thought was so sweet. Here's another picture of maybe 3 friends, or, in some of our families, it could have been a family member. I don't know. You know how you look through those albums and you know everything. Every photograph has a story, but nobody remembers what it was. And then I have this 3 schoolmates, or 4, that I tucked in here. Most of these have stenciling on the back. And then the back, wait a minute, the back is my Hallmark. Again, I used some different lace. And here is an old suitcase with rattan hearts and books and flowers, where maybe they were sitting there waiting while she was getting ready to go away to school, getting ready to come back home, leave on her honeymoon, who knows. But to me, I've used a lot of lace, but I have kept it more simple on the side and on the top, simply because I wanted the simplicity of what it probably would have been in an old album and diary. We had diaries that we would put pictures in, and I found a rusty pin and I put that on here, and little pearls. If you look real close, there's little tiny pearls on here. So it's a mixture of the simplicity and the the elegance that just a little pearl or a piece of lace would add to a simple photo album. So I've made this a little longer because I can't quit talking about this lady. I just know there's a wonderful story behind this photograph, and her name is Marjorie, and this is Marjorie's diary. And I'll be putting this on some of the sites, and my journals I usually ship in the United States, and she's $95 and $10 priority shipping. And I take Venmo or PayPal, and you can private message me on Facebook or just leave me a comment to please with your email address, whatever. You can get in contact with me if you're interested. And I did do an album not long ago of wedding pictures for someone who had only had like 7 or 8 wedding pictures and wanted them in a special way. So there's all kinds of ways that something like this could be made into a really sweet gift. So anyway, I'm about 5 minutes over my normal short, quick videos. And I hope you enjoyed this. And then I will just see you later. Bye.